Hey everyone, ready to level up your career?
Always.
Today we're diving deep into AGM interview prep,
Ooh, yeah, assistant general manager.
getting you ready to snag that dream job.
Whether it's a hotel,
A restaurant,
even an amusement park,
you name it.
the possibilities are endless.
We've got some real-world interview questions,
And sample answers, too.
pulled from a website focused on startup jobs.
Startups
All right.
for aspiring AGMs.
But hear me out.
Okay.
Even established companies can learn from that startup hustle.
True, that agility,
Exactly.
thinking outside the box.
Before we jump in,
Yes.
think about your leadership experience.
Yeah,
It'll help you connect with these insights.
good point.
Now, one thing that jumps out from these startup questions
Yeah.
is the focus on transferable skills.
Ah, I see.
Communication.
Problem solving.
Leadership.
Those are huge.
Not just buzzwords.
Definitely not.
They're the foundation of any management role.
Couldn't agree more.
It's like they're testing you.
To see.
If you've got the core ingredients to lead,
Makes sense.
no matter what company or industry.
Right.
And it's not just about having these skills.
It's about using them, right?
You've got it.
Putting them into practice.
In real-world situations.
Ah, the messy stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, one question that really digs into this
Okay.
is about handling conflict between departments.
Ooh, juicy.
Classic scenario.
Leave you with it.
Sales versus customer service.
Ugh. The battle of the phones?
Right. Who should answer those calls?
Happens everywhere.
The source suggests bringing both teams together,
Okay.
hearing them out,
Finding that compromise.
a solution that works for everyone.
Sounds good in theory.
Right.
But is it always realistic?
That's a great question.
Sometimes you need a quicker solution.
Especially in a fast-paced environment.
You can't always have a big meeting.
Sure.
Sometimes you just have to make a judgment call.
So it's not just about being a peacemaker.
It's about being decisive, too.
When necessary, of course.
And that leads to another crucial AGM skill,
Ooh, tell me more.
making decisions under pressure,
Love it.
especially when the GM is MIA.
Oh, trial by fire.
The source uses the example of a social media crisis
Oh, no.
while the GM is on vacation.
Yikes, that's rough.
You can't just wait for instructions.
Nope, gotta act fast.
The source emphasizes quick thinking, taking action.
Obvious.
In that social media crisis,
Yeah.
you might have to issue a statement,
Address concerns,
maybe even take down a post.
all while keeping the GM in the loop.
Exactly. Speaking of keeping people informed,
That brings us back to communication, right?
you got it.
But this time, with a focus on documentation.
It's not just about making the decision.
It's about leaving a trail.
So when the GM gets back,
They're up to speed.
no question about why you did what you did.
Smart.
Documentation protects you.
Keeps everyone on the same page.
Exactly. But let's be honest.
What's up?
Sometimes, even with great communication, you've got employees who just aren't engaged.
Oof, the motivation struggle,
Another common interview question,
which is
how do you boost morale?
get that team firing on all cylinders.
It feels like every company struggles with this.
Engagement is key.
And the source jumps to communication again.
Of course.
But this time, it's about digging deeper.
How so?
They suggest regular meetings,
Okay.
feedback channels,
All right.
even a good old-fashioned suggestion box.
Interesting.
But honestly, those
Yeah.
things only scratch the surface.
What's the real key then?
Understanding the root cause of disengagement.
Get to the bottom of it.
Is it lack of recognition?
Feeling overwhelmed?
Maybe they don't see the bigger picture.
So many possibilities.
It's like being a detective,
Ooh, I like that.
figuring out what's really going on.
With your team,
Yes.
sometimes you have to have tough conversations.
Address performance issues
Or even help employees find new roles.
that better align with their strengths.
Their passions, too.
Exactly. Speaking of strengths,
Hit me.
one question that always makes me nervous,
Let's hear it.
what makes you stand out?
The classic.
It feels like walking a tightrope,
How so?
showcasing your awesomeness without sounding arrogant.
It's a delicate balance.
The key is to tie your answer back to the company.
And the specific role.
Don't just list generic qualities.
Right, be specific.
Think about the company's values.
Their challenges, too.
Highlight your experiences.
The skills that directly address those needs.
The source gives a great example.
I'm all ears.
Someone who streamlined a process
Nice.
by automating customer service emails.
Efficient.
It's like saying, hey, you need efficiency. I'm your person.
I love that.
And it doesn't have to be that technical.
It could be simpler.
Like, I'm the team unifier, the one who gets everyone moving in the same direction.
Narful.
Or I'm known for staying calm under pressure, making sound decisions, even in chaos.
Those are great examples.
Okay, now for anyone who gets queasy when someone mentions spreadsheets,
Oh, the dreaded budget talk.
let's tackle that budget question.
All right, bring it on.
The source emphasizes accuracy
Attention to detail.
and collaborating with the accounting team.
Makes sense.
But does every AGM need to be a financial expert?
It's a good question.
I mean, I'm more of a people person myself.
Well, financial literacy is important,
Of course.
but you don't need to be a CPA.
Phew, that's a relief.
What matters more is a solid understanding of the basics,
Okay,
being organized,
makes sense.
and comfortable working with numbers.
So don't panic if you haven't crunched numbers in a while.
Exactly.
The key is to show you're willing to learn.
And that you have a system for staying on top of things.
Right, like having a good budget for your personal finances.
That's a great example.
So we've covered a lot of ground already.
It feels like we're just getting started.
There's so much more to unpack.
Bring on the AGM interview challenge.
We'll dive deeper next time.
Can't wait. Welcome back, everyone. Ready for more AGM interview insights.
Always ready to dive deeper.
Let's tackle those questions that really put you in the hot seat.
The ones that make you sweat a little.
Exactly. Like, are you familiar with the industry we operate in? Sounds simple, right?
Yeah, but I feel like there's more to it.
It's not just about knowing the basics. It's about showing you've done your research. You understand the company's specific context.
So if I'm applying for a hotel AGM role,
It's not enough to say, I know about hotels.
I gotta go deeper.
You need to talk about the different types of hotels, current trends in hospitality, how your experience aligns with their goals.
It's like saying, I get your world.
And I'm ready to make a difference. Now, what about those hypothetical questions?
Ooh, yeah, the ones that feel a little awkward.
Like, if the general manager were to leave, what would be your top priority?
It seems strange to talk about their potential departure.
It's about showcasing your leadership skills in a delicate situation,
The source emphasizes ensuring a smooth transition.
minimizing disruption.
So, meeting with department heads, understanding their priorities, being the steady hand.
Exactly. Guiding the ship until a new GM is in place.
And you can highlight your collaborative style,
By mentioning working with other AGMs.
ensuring seamless coverage and teamwork.
Speaking of teamwork, another classic question.
Hit me.
What would you do if you noticed two departments were working at cross purposes? Again, with the conflict resolution.
But this time it's about spotting misalignments before they become full-blown arguments.
Being proactive. Understanding the root cause is key.
Unclear roles. Lack of communication. Gotta figure that out.
Once you've identified the problem, you can bridge the gap.
Maybe set up regular cross-departmental meetings, create shared goals, foster that open communication.
Where people feel comfortable voicing concerns early on. Now let's talk stress.
Ugh, yes, the inevitable stress question.
How do you handle stress? Everyone experiences it.
Right.
They want to see that you have healthy coping mechanisms.
The source mentions having a strong work ethic, stepping back to assess the situation.
Creating a plan of action.
But sometimes you need more than that. Personally, I take a walk, listen to music, take a few deep breaths.
Those are great examples. Personalized coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
It shows you understand your own needs.
And can manage stress effectively.
Speaking of management,
Don't tell me. The budget question.
do you have experience managing budgets? Numbers aren't everyone's cup of tea.
Definitely not mine, but it's essential for an AGM role.
The source emphasizes reviewing expenditures, ensuring accuracy, collaborating with the accounting team.
So, do I need to be a financial wizard?
Not necessarily. Strong organizational skills and a willingness to learn go a long way.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Even without extensive budgeting experience, you can highlight transferable skills.
Like managing projects with budgets.
Exactly. Tracking expenses for a team.
Even just balancing my own checkbook responsibly.
It all demonstrates an aptitude for financial management.
It's about showing you're responsible, detail-oriented.
And you understand the importance of financial stewardship. But let's move on to a question that's a real opportunity.
Ooh, tell me more.
When was the last time you took initiative to improve a process? A chance to show you're a proactive problem solver.
Not just a task completer.
Exactly. This question reveals a candidate's mindset.
The source gives an example of someone who noticed slow customer service response times.
Took the initiative to research and implement an automated system.
Impressive.
but it doesn't have to be tech-related.
Right. Maybe streamlining a communication process, saving the company money.
Or even just making your team's lives easier.
It's about identifying areas for improvement and taking action.
That go-getter attitude sets great AGMs apart. Now let's talk employee motivation.
Ah, yes. Another crucial aspect of leadership.
The source provides an example of an AGM who noticed employees were demotivated.
Because of inconsistent hours.
Right. And they addressed it through regular meetings with each department.
To discuss needs and solutions. I like that approach, but
You have a concern?
I wonder if those meetings could turn into complaint sessions.
If they're not structured effectively, absolutely.
They need to be solution-oriented.
Employees should come prepared with ideas. Be ready to collaborate on finding win-win solutions.
Empowering them to be part of the solution, not just passive participants.
Exactly. Now, this next question might seem redundant.
Given our earlier discussion on conflict resolution.
Right. How would you handle a situation where multiple departments are arguing about a problem?
But there's a subtle difference here, isn't there?
This isn't about preventing conflict. It's about stepping into the heat of the moment and mediating a resolution.
The source talks about an AGM facing a disagreement between sales and marketing.
About a product launch.
Instead of taking sides, they decided to test both proposed strategies.
Let the data decide.
Smart. It removes the emotion and focuses on the most effective solution.
Shows you're adaptable and data-driven. But what about those times when you have to make a tough call?
One that might not be popular.
Transparency and clear communication are crucial. The source gives an example of an amusement park AGM.
Who had to make a difficult decision?
They had to hire a new ride manager during the busy season, potentially disrupting operations.
Not popular, but necessary for safety and long-term success.
It's about explaining your thought process, the factors you considered, and how you minimized negative impact.
Taking ownership and demonstrating leadership, even when it's hard.
Making tough decisions is part of being an AGM. It's about doing what's best for the company and the team, even when it's not easy. Now let's talk leadership style.
Ah, yes. Which management style do you prefer? Question.
This is where self-awareness is key. The source highlights someone who favors a collaborative style.
Building trust and open communication.
However, different situations call for different approaches.
Right. You might need to be more directive in a crisis.
Or more hands-off with a highly experienced team.
It's about adapting your style to the needs of the situation and the people you're leading.
Exactly. It shows you're flexible, not stuck in one mode. Now, back to communication.
What do you think is the most important aspect of communication between departments?
Breaking down those silos.
The source emphasizes keeping everyone on the same page.
They offer the example of an AGM who implemented weekly meetings between marketing and sales.
To address communication breakdowns, good idea, but
Too many meetings.
they can become unproductive if they lack a clear purpose and structure.
I agree. Meetings should be strategic, not just another to-do list item.
And there are other ways to foster communication.
Like shared online workspaces, encouraging informal check-ins between departments.
It's about creating a culture of open communication, where information flows freely, but communication isn't just about sharing information.
It's also about being open to feedback, challenging the status quo.
How often do you recommend updates to company policy or procedure?
This question assesses your willingness to adapt and evolve.
The source highlights an AGM who streamlined customer service by implementing a new system.
It's about showing you're observant, not afraid to propose changes, constantly looking for ways to improve.
Being a change agent, but strategic about it.
You don't want to suggest changes just for the sake of change.
Your recommendations need to be thoughtful, with a clear rationale.
Exactly. Now let's shift to crisis management.
Oh, what's the scenario?
There's a problem with a product launch. How do you handle it? Think on your feet. Make quick decisions.
The source gives an example of damaged inventory during a launch.
The AGM had to decide. Delay or sell the damaged goods.
They chose to delay, putting quality and customer satisfaction first.
A respectable decision, but
That.
a more nuanced approach might have been possible. Perhaps a partial launch with a discount on the damaged goods, alongside clear communication about the issue.
To minimize losses.
It highlights the importance of thinking creatively in a crisis.
Not always black and white. There might be a middle ground.
But no matter the decision, clear communication and transparency are key.
Keep stakeholders informed, explain your reasoning, manage expectations.
Now let's wrap up with delegation.
The art of Describe your process for delegating tasks to employees.
Showing you understand the importance of empowering your team and fostering ownership.
The source emphasizes creating a clear task list, identifying the best person for each task, communicating clearly, setting deadlines, and following up. Seems simple enough, but
Delegation can be tricky.
what are some common pitfalls?
Delegating without providing enough context or support.
Just dumping tasks on someone without clear instructions or resources.
Setting them up for failure.
And on the flip side, there's the micromanager.
Hovering over every detail. Stifling creativity.
It's about finding that balance, providing guidance but giving your team the autonomy to shine.
Delegation done right develops your team's skills, builds trust, and creates a more efficient and fulfilling work environment.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive. Conflict resolution, managing budgets, inspiring your team.
But there's one final question that can make or break an interview, and we'll tackle that next.
We're back and ready to tackle the final challenge of AGM interview prep.
The question that can make you a star or send you home.
It's the one that everyone dreads.
What makes you stand out from other candidates?
This is your chance to shine.
Show them why you're the perfect fit.
The source gives a pretty standard example.
Wow. What's that?
Someone highlighting their excellent communication skills,
Okay.
experience collaborating across departments,
So,
and the ability to manage diverse teams.
solid qualities.
But those are pretty generic, right?
How do you make them come alive?
How do you really grab the interviewer's attention?
That's where storytelling comes in.
Ooh, I love a good story.
Don't just list your skills.
Show, don't tell, right?
Exactly. Back them up with real examples.
Okay.
Think about specific situations.
Where you really demonstrated those strengths.
Did you navigate a conflict between departments?
Ooh, a good conflict resolution story.
Or maybe you implemented a new system.
Something that boosted efficiency.
Did you lead a team to crush their goals?
Those stories bring your skills to life.
And they give the interviewer a glimpse into your personality.
They see how you operate in the real world.
And don't be afraid to let your personality shine through.
AGMs need to be relatable, right?
Absolutely. Approachable.
If you have a unique skill,
Or a quirky hobby.
something that connects to the role,
Share it.
it's about showing them you're not just a resume,
You're a human being with passion.
a genuine passion for the work.
That human connection can make all the difference.
So we've reached the end of our deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground.
From handling conflict
To managing budget,
to motivating your team,
it's clear that being an AGM requires a diverse skill set
a blend of hard and soft skills.
and a genuine commitment to leadership.
But I think the biggest takeaway for me,
Is,
it's all about the people.
couldn't agree more,
Understanding your team,
building trust,
creating an environment where everyone feels valued.
empowered to do their best work,
It's about being a leader who inspires.
motivates and guides their team
And-
towards success.
And remember,
Yeah.
every interview is a two-way street.
It's not just about them assessing you.
You're assessing them too.
Exactly. Is this the right company culture for you?
Is this a team you want to lead?
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Get a sense of their values, their vision.
Their leadership style.
So there you have it, folks.
You've got the insights.
The confidence to rock that AGM interview.
And land your dream job.
You got this.
Go out there and shine.
Until next time.
Happy diving.